Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 18th of December. So starting with the ASX here, this particular move is not complete yet. So we have wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2, and this is the third wave here that's not quite finished just yet. And then we'll have the fourth and the fifth wave up to this point here. Is it possible that all of this here can be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave and finish here where the third wave is? Possibly, so we need to be mindful about that. This red line through here, that's the top going sort of way back there. So double tops like this, not the end of the trend to the upside, but the point is how far will they pull back? I mean, if it's a B wave, an A and a B and a C for a B wave up here, it can pull right back down into this space here. So we need to be a little bit mindful of that with our longs. So what we really want to see here in a nutshell is that obviously this is the resistance here. We want to see that as support, and we also need to work the wave count in with that as well. So let's go in and have a look at this particular structure here and this top here to start with. So there's a couple of little things here that we need to discuss. So I can quite clearly see from wave 2 here, we've got wave 1 and 2 with confidence, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for 3 for confidence, and back here for 4. But it is possible that this little move through here, I mean from wave 4 expect it to go up to wave 5 here. So I mean if you're trading up here, just get to the 6900 here or maybe 6910 or something, you know. But we're in Wednesday today, so Wednesday is basically down in the morning and up in the afternoon. So a little bit like Tuesday, so they're kind of like V-shaped days. I'll just go over that again. So if Friday is bullish, then Monday is going to be bullish. This is the bullish weekly cycle. So Monday's going to be bullish. So Tuesday comes in with a little bit of profit taking, and then the trend resumes. And then Wednesday is a bit like Tuesday. It's a little bit bigger. It can be, Wednesday can be the midweek high there a bit, and then come down a bit deeper in the morning session, and then up for the afternoon session, creating that new high. And then Thursday can open higher. Oops, you can't see that. Thursday can open higher and then be the bearish day here. So, and then Friday starts off again being bullish, and then Monday being bullish. So yeah, Wednesday and Thursday are the days that trigger all the stops. And when we see this, understand the bullish weekly cycle a little bit, and then we see, I mean, and if the bullish weekly cycle, if one of these days is not meeting its criteria, then you know there's a change in trend. So if Friday's not bullish, then we know that the trend is changed and we'll be in a downtrend. So this little top here concerns me. There's a couple of different ways to count this. I mean, firstly on the tick chart, it's possible to have this over here on the tick chart. I don't think it's the case though, but an A and a B and a C wave here for this. Not that it makes much difference, but it will make a bit of difference here, because if this is the top here for wave 3, then we've got wave 4 here, and we're looking for wave 4 to pull back here, so that's all good. But what could happen here is an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for this wave 4, here, and then having wave 5 up here for wave 3, and then Thursday being bearish, and then Friday moving up here again. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, I guess. We'll just go to the tick chart so we can get a bit more detail and go over this again here for a moment. So so this move down through here can be wave 4, but I would need that top to be taken out for that to complete that. Otherwise, we need to see this here as I'm going to put this over to here. Going to remove that here for a moment. remove that. Just remove that. So I think this is the case here with an A and a B and a C here for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here, you know, taking out all the stops, and then and then moving back up to the 6900 area through here. So because this came up quite high here compared to this here, that means that it won't go very much past the low down here. It might go to 6830, the top of group 1, but that will be about it. The only other saving grace here is that from this point here to here, the 61.8% here. So, I mean, if this is just important if you're shorting it here, so that's kind of roughly in that space there. So I can move that now. And then we can gravitate over to the closest largest number. So we're in group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80. So if 65 became the retested resistance here, then it's likely we're going to go down into here, and we'd look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 coming in, 4 and 5 coming into here. So you should be able to buy when it comes down to these old lows here for in that case. But otherwise this could be 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 here, and then move up from this point. So you really need that 65 as the, you know, retested resistance at that point. This is a retested resistance here at 65. So the market came up, came back down here, went up, retested it, and then broke the low here. So then that would be the setup here. What you can do is you can look to the cash market or the futures market and have a look at the volume, because if this volume down here, if this was whatever it was, quite, you know, increasing volume, whatever, and this one up here was diminishing volume as it was going up, well, then you know it's corrective at that point, and then you can use the robo method to get in a bit easier and then bring it down that way. So yeah, so the volume can play a good part in it if you keep your eye on that. But that's where we are. So just really in the coming back to the slightly bigger picture here, you know, if you're long, that's still okay. You can stay long because we've still got to get. There's still a fair way to go. You just got to make your decision if you're going to take skin out of the game at 69 here. But there is further, you know, this whole, if I go back to here, this whole trend is not finished yet. So first of all, in here, it looks like we've got this A, B, and C wave coming into here, then wave 3 here, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 4 that will pull back to the wave 4 here. So if you're holding it down here, then you might as well sort of hold it through here and get this here. It just depends on your timing, because you do have to pay overnight financing for these sorts of things. And probably, yeah, so anyway, yeah, it's everybody's many roads to Rome. Everybody's slightly different. We all you know, do things differently. So but anyway, there's the picture. You just need to get those grey cells working a bit. So cool. Let's go on to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, here we've we've been looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and I've sort of got the feeling that this is not wave 4 here, this sharp move down here, but some of this is a little bit tricky to get my head around. I need to really focus on it, and I don't really have the time. I know that not everybody trades this market, so I got a feeling that we're still going into the 3rd wave over here, and then we'll have the 4th and the 5th wave here. So I think that because we're visited here before the 28, we're likely to see some reaction and corrections and all that sort of stuff from the 28 here. And we've already taken a small percentage off here, so we don't really have a, you know, we've only, I don't know, depending on what percentage you have, but it might pay just to take another percentage just here and then chill out. And what we could do is we could wait for this. This will go up to hit the 28, and then it's likely to have this ABC correction back to here, and then up from that point. I don't think it's finished yet, if it's in line with the Australian market and other markets. So we can always move back in, you know, copy this, we can always move back in over here somewhere for this, you know. So yeah, so perhaps take a bit of take it off the heat a little bit, and we'll pick it up back down this point. But we just got to be careful around number 8s, you know, because they're profit taking numbers, and you be careful getting in and out and in and out. You know, you just get sort of chopped up and makes it all sort of makes it all stressful and so on. But I had it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and going up for 5, but I think that this 5 will be wave 3 here, and then we'll come back for wave 4, and then we'll move a bit higher here for this. So it could come up to 300 here or 500, I'm not sure. So I like to be conservative, so let's get to 300 because that's top of the top of group 1, so 100, 200 and 300 here, so that's significant at that point. The Indian market, the Nifty 50 here. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here is wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 and 4. I have to say 3 and 4 is, I mean, it did all the right things here, so we'll run with it. But it's not very far above wave 1 here. So there may be a much bigger trend occurring here. But our next target really is moving up this way here is 500. That's roughly 61.8% of the third wave there. So there's a couple of steps along the way. First of all, we're in group 1 here. So I want 100, 200 and 300. So this 300 is going to be, that's going to be an important level. If that becomes support, then we go up to the 500 at that point. And like I said, we could be in a much bigger bullish pattern here. There's another count that could take us much higher than what I'm looking at here. But I just like to be conservative of everything, so I've squashed it up. So you know, we could be in a much bigger third wave coming into this space up here. So this could be a much smaller scenario here, but just to be conservative and take it step by step. The 4-hour chart here, as you know, puts us in this space here. So wave 3, ABC for wave 4, and then we're looking for 5 waves up here. So I'm dressing it up like this. I've also got a funny feeling too that this may not be wave 1 and 2 here. It didn't pull back as much as I wanted it to. It may be just the 3 and the 4, and we've actually got, copying this here, a wave 1 here and a wave 2 coming into this play here. So we need to accommodate that in terms of our trades and strategy and so on. We are moving through group 1 here, so from 12,000, 100, 200 and 300. So what we normally see here is that we would see the corrective move across here, we would see a corrective move across here, and then we'd see kind of a larger one happening here as such. They can actually pull back to 2 here at this point. The 3 will give a larger correction here. And yeah, if we get support on here, then we can go higher from that point. So yeah, this one here, I just want to revisit that one here a little bit. I'm not sure what I've done on the owl. I'll just go to the tick chart if that's okay for a moment. We'll come back to this here. So this was the other way that I was looking at it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then just all of this is the third wave up here. Fourth wave here, very close to wave 1 here as well, but not overlapping. And then looking at this up here. So I'm thinking that we may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which would make up that blue wave 1 here. Okay, so and then we would look for blue wave 2 coming back. So if we take that low here. I'll just take it to there. So, here we go. So it's possible to come back to the 12,000 again here. So we just need to be a little bit careful about this. So we're going to need a strategy that can get us through this problem, and I may be able to solve it before it happens, or very early in the piece with it. But I'm just shooting the breeze with you here, just sharing things. So let's just put this in here. It's good to recognize the problem, draw it out, and find a solution for this and where we are now in that case. So something like this. In this case up here too, you can see that we've got 1 and 2 in here. We talked about this yesterday, but I had them in blue, the 1 degree smaller, but I'm just putting them in this one here. So that's our target, 12,200 here. Now, I could actually just sort of be wrong here, and we come up here and we hit that, and you know, we have some type of correction here, and we find up here and we keep going up here like this. You know, that's also possible as well. But if that happens, if we get support on 12.2 here, something like this here, we got the first high above the level that we can go long on, then that's great, and we can bring it down here. We may be even able to get into here as well. But all we're doing at the moment with this pattern here is we're just at the arrival. We haven't, you know, there's a 90-odd% chance that there's going to be some type of correction here, probably even higher. You know, I'm just stressing it out. But, you know, it's not support yet, is it? This is the time to take the money off the table, not the time to get in. So we need this to occur here, and then we need to get in over this side over here. So this is how you get, well, I don't like, well, perfect's kind of okay, I guess. So the perfect timing would be to get out here and then get back in over here. Well, more perfect would be to get back in over here, wouldn't it? And that's okay. We can do that sometimes, if only if this is really clear here and we've got perhaps a nice setup on the level over here. We can do those sorts of things, but you know, it's tricky enough as it is, so we don't want to get too gun happy about it. Pulling triggers here and there. We can leave that for democracy. That's sort of thinking of democracy the other day, about America and Trump and all the rest of it, and it's sort of like the true thing about democracy is a gunfight in the main street, and that's basically what's happening at the moment. Okay, so coming back to the daily chart here. So I'm thinking here that that we've got this situation here that we could have wave 1 here and coming back for wave 2 here. So we've done all the right things here at the moment, but we need to take some percentage off the table here. So there's quite a lot in here at the moment, you know, with those 4.5 positions in here. So I will leave it up to you to decide what, you know, in your mind, what you think, because you probably have your own opinions about the analysis as well. But just bear in mind what occurred at 1 here with this move here is likely what we're going to get here. If we're not going to get a sharp move here, then we'll get a sideways move here. And if it's a sideways move across here, then we'll have time to get back in. So I think that this here is, we're going to just move the stop out the way for the moment, and we'll focus on taking a percentage. Because I don't know what's going on here, we need to just get a bit tactical. I'm just thinking why I'm moving things around a bit. I mean, even if the blue wave 1 is right and blue wave 2 is right, then we'd go up for 1 here and we would move back for 2. So we'd probably will be in this space here. So we'd be back. So we can move back to, we could move back down to here and then move off. We could move back down to this point here if this is 1 and 2 here and then move off from that point. Or we could be very lucky and get a very small one situation in here, the size of this kind of thing here, and then move up from here. So I think you've got to at least start looking at sort of 70 or 80% here in this area through here until we can work out what we've got here. We'll definitely be able to get back in because like this pattern here, if something like this occurs here, then we'll be able to get back in, that's all. So I'll leave it at that. So we're going to take a high percentage at this point here. And what we're sort of looking for here, if the market was going to continue up, we would look at the arrival, the reaction, which would stay within group 2. So group 2 is 65, 72, and 80 in here. Okay, so back there, then the first high above the level, and then a corrective move here, back down to the support area here again, and then move up. And our job would be to go long on this one here. So even though we're getting out here, that's how we'd get back in here. This is, if I'm wrong and we're not going to get a pullback to here or here, then this is what's going to happen. So if you're taking 70 or 80% here or all of it or whatever, then this is how we're going to get back in, and we'll go up to the, we'll get sort of 80 points going up to the 300 here, because the 300 is going to offer a sort of, if it doesn't pull back through here deeply, then we're going to see a bigger correction at the 300 here that will pull back to the 200 here. So in this case here, this will be a short-term trade up to the 300 and exit at that point. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.